The first thing we're covering is the foundation. And when we talk about foundation, we really mean it is your core values, mission statement, culture, and value proposition for the course, for the purpose of what I'm talking about. The foundation of your business is building a strong set of processes and systems and understanding fundamentally all of the pieces as you're building a business or as you're going back and relooking at it. So this entire course, you'll hear us talk about business foundation over and over again. For me, while I talk today, it's going to be those four areas: core values, mission statement, culture, and value proposition. And really the foundation of a business is, I just realized I turned my page too soon, guys, for my notes, and I'm like trying to find where I'm reading. So if all of a sudden I sounded really confused, that's why. So when you think about a foundation of a business, it's a lot like the foundation of building a home, right? Or building a shop or a new garage or something. It's foundational. So just real quick, everybody, if you could take a second to drop into the comments, into the chat, like what's the first one or two things that you think of that a builder has to do when he is building a solid foundation for a home or a building? Okay, come on. I know we have some construction people in here, so plans, have a plan, build a platform. Okay, what else? What else do you need for, let's get a couple more thoughts in here. All right, perfect. Yes. So having the financial means to do it, having a plan, very, very good. Prep work, all very applicable. So great. All right. So the core of your business is going to be, this is the core theme throughout the course, throughout the 10 weeks of this course is your business foundation. Let's start by talking about core values. These are what you see here, these core values, these are SB Pace's core values, right? So this is what you can expect when working with us. Is we build relationships. So anybody who has joined this course, who has worked with us, hopefully can speak to that. These are absolutely true. We're emotionally invested in our clients, and we don't sell services to our clients that they don't need. So we're always looking to maximize client value. It's the very reason that Corey and I started this business, is because we wanted to be able to add as much value as possible. The second one is we have fun and we work hard. So work-life balance is really important to us, and we hope that it is for our clients as well. In fact, that's one of the things that we work towards, is trying to help them build a solid work-life balance so they're not working all the time. And then our third one is that we're flexible in everything we do. So our hours, our work approach, our availability to our clients, we put our clients first. And these are our core values. They can find them on our website. They are who we are. Core values are fundamental beliefs of an organization. So they dictate your behavior. They help with decision making. They also help determine if you're on the right path for fulfilling your goals, and they create an unwavering guide. They're a decision-making tool for every single business. So let's do a quick poll. Does your business have core values? Can everyone see the poll?
Yep.
Okay. Can the guests see the attendees see the poll?
They're answering the poll right now.
Oh, I can't see the answers.
Well,
so can you tell us what we've
got?
Yeah,
so we 9 of 12 people. So I see nothing. So you should maybe at the bottom, you might see a little thing with polls, like it could be a little pop-up. There might be a number.
Are you talking to me?
Talking to our attendees.
Oh, okay.
And so you click on the button that says polls, and you should be able to see, the poll that's available right now. We're gonna have a couple more as we go through. So we got 10 of the 12 people who are on here responded. 70% said yes, they have defined core values, and 30% three said zero.
Okay.
Said no.
All right. So let's talk about what core values. Oh, here, now I can see the results. All right, perfect. Thank you, Corey. Thanks. All right. So core values, they dictate the behavior. They dictate behavior and they help with decision making. They're it's a really good way for helping companies to determine if they're on the right path, if they're fulfilling their goals, and it also really helps them with decision making and setting the tone for what customers and employees can expect, right? So when you look at our core values that I just showed you, like anybody who works with us knows what to expect working with us. And whenever we're making a decision for the business, we go back and look at, well, does this line up with our core values? Regardless of what happens with your business, you can use your core values to determine if you're moving in the right direction. So whether it be taking on a big client, how you work with clients, if you've got a client that's just difficult, how you hire it, core values come into play for all of that. They are, in my opinion, the most important part of your business foundation is your core values, because it sets the tone for everything else that you're doing. So how they shape your business. So when it comes to hiring, you should really be hiring for employees that understand and fit your core values, that they maybe they don't, I want to say that they believe in them, but they may not know enough about them initially. So you've got to really figure out how to craft your questions during the interview process to get at that. So if you're really big on customer service, then you want to find out how your candidates feel about customer service and that type of interaction with people, right? That's important for making sure that they're going to uphold the core values of the company. It builds a sense of community. So because core values help drive the decision making of what you're doing, when everybody's in lockstep on what those core values mean and you're all working towards the same goals, then everyone in the business has a really like a greater sense of community for what you're doing, and they're more invested in the outcome. It also improves morale for the same reason. You're all looking at the same thing, you're moving in the same direction. And it helps people to make decisions on their own, because all they have to do is look, well, does this align with the core values? And if it does, then they're generally okay to move forward with it. And it directly impacts revenue, because you're all moving in the same direction. Everybody's aware that what you're working on is tied to those core values. It answers the question of, does it withhold the core values? So you're picking projects and you're working with clients that have the right impact on your revenue and are moving you forward. All right. So when it comes to core values for details and decisions, what makes a good core value? Honestly, it depends on your company. It depends on what you want your company to represent and what's really important to you. If it's important to you to have really high customer service and really good customer service, then you want to have a core value that addresses that. It's just thinking about, what do you want that business to be? What's important to you as you're building it? And what is it that you want your customers to know about you? How many core values should you have? So there's really no right or wrong answer here. You should have them. I like to say between like three to five is a good number, but that's just my personal opinion. I think when you get too many more than that, it's really hard to like hold all of them up, right? So you tend to forget some, or they start to collide with each other. Five feels like a good number. We only went with three because we were able to really encompass everything we wanted in the three that we have. Who should you include when writing core values? So this one, I would say include people within your company, within your business. If you're just a solopreneur, then obviously you're just including yourself. If you are if you have 20 people, 50 people, include your leadership team, and then maybe circle back and include some others as well. But don't include everybody, because then you've got 50 different opinions, or however many different opinions. And the reason that I personally, and there might be some people who would give you a different opinion, but here's my opinion on including outsiders. The second that you start to include people that aren't in your business on what your core values are is the very second that you've started to let someone else define what your business is. And I just don't think that that's a good idea. You know what you want that business to represent. You know who your ideal clients are. And that's what you need to continue to think about when you're building your core values. What's the risk of not having core values? This is the easiest way for me to explain it. Can you skip the step? Sure. It's a little bit like having a rudderless ship then. Like, there's really no direction, especially if you use core values the way that they're intended, in that they help drive decision making, they help drive hiring, they help you work with your customers, how you're servicing your customers. Then you absolutely need them as you're building your business up. And finally, can you update or change your core values later? You can. You absolutely can. Ideally, unless you are changing the complete direction of your business, or even like your business model, you shouldn't need to. Maybe tweak them or add to them, but you shouldn't need to change them too much. All right. We have an activity for you guys. This is offline. So, and we'll make this available in Kartra after this session. You can go in and you'll be able to download this entire presentation. But essentially, draft your core values for your business, or review and update, if needed, your existing core values. So whatever you have for your core values, just get them down on paper, or copy and paste them into into the Google Docs, and share them with everyone else in the academy, just to let everyone else know what your customers can expect when they're interacting with you and your business, right? So this isn't for feedback. You can ask people for feedback, but keep in mind what I just said about asking outsiders for feedback on your core values. But that, just to share them so people know, like, okay, I get it. I know what this business is about. All right, mission statement. So this is our mission statement for SB Pays. It's to help small business owners achieve long-term success. So any of you, again, that have worked with us or know us, you know that we are 100% focused on small businesses. And this is our mission statement. A mission statement is the ideal vision for your company's future, and it helps direct growth, right? So again, this also helps with decision making, because you can take a look at it and you'll know if you're moving in the right direction for your customers, for hiring. But that mission statement is a guidepost for you. It helps you with alignment. So when a new employee is hired, it's critical that the new hire knows what the company does and where the company's going, right? So it's a compass for your business. Excuse me, I'm gonna grab a drink. It also keeps from an alignment perspective, it keeps your entire team on the same page. It helps you with strategy. So when you're talking about what you're going to do for the coming year, like if you're creating an annual strategic plan for the following year, it helps you to make sure that everything that you're putting into that strategic plan is in alignment with the direction that you want your business to go. And it helps with evaluation and improvement. So what you measure is going to be your mission. So if you have a clear written statement of your mission, you'll know exactly what to measure and how to measure it. Right. So I know most folks, you're going to ask the difference between a mission statement and the core values. So core values, again, are how you interact with your customers, how you interact with your employees. It's that guidepost for pretty much everything that you're doing. A mission statement is the vision for your company, and it helps to direct the growth. All right. For the mission statement activity, again, very similar to your core values activity, which is write the mission statement, or, copy it down if you already have one, and then share it in Google Docs so that people know the vision for your company's future. So where do you see your company going, or what do you want your company to do? And again, this entire presentation will be available for you guys to download so you can take a look at it and pay closer attention to it. Culture. Let's do a quick poll. Who drives company culture? So is it everyone? Is it the leadership team? Is it customers, or the owner / president / CEO? Is everyone able to see the poll? All right. Corey, can I see the results? Or are people still taking it?
Yeah, we're 11:15, and I know that Cheryl's still having technical issues on her end. She can't see it for some reason, but I'll go ahead and share right now. We'll end it.
Okay.
There you are.
All right. Hey, can I just also pause really quick, because can you tell me if Emily made it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fritchie?
Yeah, I just saw a text from her, and I just want to make sure she was here. Okay. So who drives company's culture? We say 27% of you say everyone, 36% of you say the leadership team, 0 say customers, and 36% say the owner, president, CEO. Well, so everyone is definitely involved in culture. It is the CEO / president / owner who drives it. Culture starts at the top, and it really can only be changed from the top. So, quick story. Corey and I once had a client who really wanted to have this great culture in that business. And the owner he definitely drove the culture. I don't know that he realized that he drove the culture, but he loved chaos. He loved to stir things up, and every opportunity that he got, he did that. He would pit people against each other. He would wait for his COO to leave the country on business, and he would then slowly walk around and get co-signers to unravel everything that she had been working on. And then she would return to complete and total chaos. And it was the most chaotic and confusing culture that I have ever been exposed to. And it was completely driven from the top. And the only way that company could change, and it was a profitable company, the only way that small business could change the culture was they had to remove him as the CEO and put someone else in charge who wasn't such a fan of chaos. So culture starts at the top, and people mimic what they see from the leaders. That's where they learn what behavior is acceptable. So for the components of a great culture, it's your core values and your mission statement, right? If your core values and mission statement are used in the hiring process and used in how you treat customers, then they definitely feed into your culture. And then what you do as a leader, I don't really know what my English is on that third bullet, but I'm going to fix that. What does you as the leader say and do? That doesn't feel like that's good grammar right there. But technically, if you say something goes, then people are going to think that something goes, and they're not going to have any issue with it. I can tell you that your culture goes so much beyond just what's inside of your four walls. Another example that is really relative in today's world in terms of how we spend how we market businesses. Um, there is a company that I am, involved with that has a big community on Facebook. And that community on Facebook really dictates the exact culture that exists at the company level, where there's a lot of commitments that are made that are never kept, and there's a lot of plans that are stated verbally that they don't meet their timelines. It just trickles all the way down. So culture is more than just what happens inside your building. It's how your customers feel your culture. Everyone feels it. And when the leader is okay with missing commitments, or the leader is okay with chaos, then that's what it's going to look like for everybody, employees and customers. And the same is true when your leader is just fantastic at, communicating and transparency and doing what they say they're going to do and meeting their commitments and having, high integrity or high customer value. That translates. Culture translates everywhere you look. So it's really important that people understand what their culture is and what culture they're building. So you have to just keep all of that in mind. The other part is like your origin story is a big part of your culture. So why did your company start? What was the reason behind it? And because origin stories are probably my favorite part of small businesses, and understanding everyone's origin story and how that fits into the story to tell their employees and their customers is meaningful. And then finally, place is a big part of culture as well. So how you design your office or your store or whatever the location is, like that's your culture. Like that's the physical aspect that people can actually see if they're whether it's employees or customers. Again, if they're coming in, they're going to see that. All right, so can you change the culture of a company? Poll: yes, no, not sure. All right, everybody vote. Everybody take their poll.
Yep, looks like we got it. Close enough. There's a 13 said yes, even though it says 12 because we're still having an issue with one account here.
Okay. So 13 yes, 1 not sure, and 0 no's. So here's the deal. You can absolutely change the culture of a company. It is really hard to do it. It takes a big effort to change the culture of a company. And it doesn't happen overnight. You need to look at the core values and the mission statement and how the organization practices both of them. And you have to be prepared to make some tough changes, both within yourself and on the team. If you've got people on the team that are, hurting the culture, who don't abide by the core values, I don't listen. These are tough decisions, but you can have people that are really, really good at their job, and they are just uh, energy vampires. Like they are hard to work with. Nobody likes working with them, but they're the top sales guy, or they are just the best developer. It doesn't matter. Like, in all honesty, they got to go. At some point, you have to make that tough decision. But as the leader, you drive culture. And if you don't make the changes, then the company culture is not going to change either. So just keep that in mind. And it's so much easier to just build culture right from the start. But if you already have a business and you know that you need to make some changes, then you have to be very, very intentional and deliberate about what you're doing. So if it's if you're already down the road and you've got a culture that needs to be changed, then the first step is starting with communicating that change to your team, and then build a strategy that you can execute on. So you have to walk the walk on this one, and really, really, if you tell people you're going to do things, you have to do it. And when you don't do it, you've got to come back and explain why you didn't do it. But that's culture is huge. All right. Now, value proposition. So it would not be uncommon for you to see value proposition covered in marketing as well. We have a marketing session coming up in a couple of weeks, and this will be touched on slightly, at least in one way. So you be prepared to see this again, and that's okay, because a lot of people struggle with really how to write or come up with what their value proposition is. So for SB Pace, ours is success for your small business. And ultimately, what I would say is this. So here's the dirty little secrets of value proposition. So a value prop is really a simple statement that summarizes why a customer would choose your product or service. They're written for the customer. So this is the only thing so far that we've talked about that is completely directed at the customer. And the reason you need a value proposition is because it tells customers why they should buy from you and not from your competition. So it's what makes you unique, what makes you special, or what makes you the brand that they should be going to. I've thrown in some examples of some really great value props that you probably are all familiar with. So Uber, the smartest way to get around, one tap and a car comes directly to you. The driver knows exactly where to go, and payment is completely cashless. So that's their value prop. And I'm sure we're all familiar with Uber. Slack, which hopefully, if you have not yet used, you will be shortly. It's be more productive at work with less effort. Slack makes users' working lives simpler, more pleasant, and more productive. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that is true. Slack is a great tool, and it makes everything easier. And then finally, MailChimp, send better email. That's it. It's just 3 little words. And Corey and I had a debate about, well, not a debate. We actually talked about, do you think that's true for MailChimp? Because we use MailChimp and sometimes it's not super easy, but it does make sending emails. You do send better emails with it. So we're going to give it to them. But the number one thing about value props to keep in mind is that you should assume that every time a customer like lands on your website, walks into your store, looks at your page on Facebook, looks at your Instagram account, whatever it is, checks you out on LinkedIn, it doesn't matter what the social platform, TikTok, they're thinking to themselves, what's in it for me? And your value proposition tells them. Okay. Now, how to write a value proposition. So value propositions for me personally, I find them hard to write because it's that getting out of your head and really getting into your customer head. So you have to understand who your ideal customer is on the value prop. Harvard Business School put out a great approach to writing value propositions that really has just 3 super easy prompts. What customers are you going to serve? Which needs are going to be met? And what relative price will provide acceptable value for your customers at acceptable profitability? So they don't have to be answered in that order. And in fact, as it says here, sometimes it's easier to start with number 2 or number 3. For me, it's always easiest to start with that second bullet of what needs are going to be met, because I know what services or product we're providing. So I have an idea of the need. And then it's figuring out, that working with the ideal customer. I usually do number 3 last, but that's because there's, sometimes it's a little bit of a math equation, and Julie's not so good with the math all the time. All right, we are just about done, guys. 1 slide left for me, and I'm going to hand it over to Corey. This is again another activity. And this is for you to write your value proposition or review and update if you already have one, or just hand it over, just put it into Google Docs. And again, on these exercises, you don't have to share these, right? If you don't want to, obviously we're this isn't Catholic school nuns with the rulers where there's no punishment for not doing it. This is just goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. You get out of it what you put into it. There's a really big benefit from mutual learning. So if you've got a value proposition or core values or mission statement written for your business, sharing them with others to give them an idea of how to craft theirs um, is just a super generous way to go. And it's mutual learning. You're going to see other people's and maybe it's going to give you some ideas. So we encourage it. But if you don't want to or you don't feel comfortable doing it, that's fine too. And I do really want to point out that not everybody's going to have all three of these, right? So you shouldn't feel if you've had your business for 10 years and you don't have you don't have a mission statement, that's okay. Like that's why you're all in this course, is because you're learning and you're wanting to make your business the strongest possible. So just, assume that wherever you're at in your business is the appropriate place for you to be and that this course is going to take you to the next level.